Hello my beautiful friend and welcome back to another daily video. So, the Final Fantasy VII Remake Director, well, he gave an interview. Let's just dive in. As always, I'm going to link everything that I'm going to show you in the description box down below. We have two articles. I accidentally put the second one up here by IGN. The first one is this here by Bounding into Comics. Yeah, that was the site. I'm sorry, I wasn't able to read it. Written by Spencer Bakuli and being published as of recording this right now 3 days ago. So, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Director recommends new players skip original and get first impression from remakes. Oh boy, just the title alone. Let's dive in. Rather than getting into the RPG classic via its original, now widely available on digital platforms release, hell, they're even building it with its Magic the Gathering Pre-Con Commander deck, which is, yeah, well, I have my own thoughts about Magic, Hasbro, and the whole Wizards of the Coast shebang, but that is a discussion for another day. Final Fantasy VII Remake Trilogy director Naoki Hamaguchi believes new players would be better served by getting their first impression of the game from Square Enix's current return trip, which is a terrible advice. This is not good. Because, and this is, if you haven't played the new Final Fantasy VII entries right now, I'm sorry for the slight spoiler, but it had to be done. There are basically sequels. Because at first it doesn't make sense when you jump into the remake and you think oh yeah, well, it is a remake just with action adventure gameplay instead of the tactical strategy and round-based gameplay and a little bit of, yeah, well, changes to the story. And this is the charming way of saying it. But there are sequels. I won't say why exactly, but it makes sense when you play them. Then we have Hamaguchi, who helms the remake series alongside original Final Fantasy VII event planner Motomu Toriyama, offered his eyebrow-raising take on Cloud and Crew's big adventure during a recent interview given to Nintendo Live's Ollie Reynolds, as facilitated by veteran Square Enix translator Gavin Poffley. Amidst a larger conversation regarding the upcoming Nintendo Switch port of Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate, the director was at one point asked as to whether or not he would recommend newcomers try this out before first moving on to Remake, or would you prefer the opposite? To which he affirmed, in a lot of ways, that's a difficult question to answer. Which is not. First of all, I have to show this immediately. You can buy the original one for 13 euros and or your regional equivalent. And if you're really skeptical with the graphics as they are basically block people, yeah, I totally understand why you would be on the fence with this one. But there are mods out there to make the game more beautiful. I mean, you just have to go on Steam. Let's look here at discussion, and of course the other side is opening. Let's do it like this. And you have, where are mods? You just have to look quickly, possible new glitch. Install 7 Heaven mod. This is it. But it arrows out. This is really sad. But the 7th Heaven mod makes the game more beautiful. It is really simple. Then you can play the original and then go into Remake and then Rebirth. And the story would be all the better for it, because you know what happened in the original, because you know what... Why do I have to explain this? This is a stupid take, Hamaguchi. God damn it. A lot of people say to me that if they could go back and play the original Final Fantasy VII with no knowledge of the story and enjoy it for the first time, that'd be nothing better than that. Yeah, I agree. Because the first time I played it, I was a stupid little kid and I didn't comprehend what happened in the story because I just didn't pay attention to it. I was just, ooh, buttons. The remake is designed to be enjoyed by people who have played the original and know it well, and also by completely newcomers who know nothing about it. Yeah, that's that's true, but still, play the original first. There is no excuse. And even just wait a couple of days. This will go on discount. It's Steam. God damn it. Or buy it on Humble Bundle or whatever. There are so many ways to get it cheaper. So either way is fine. You'll enjoy the game and have a similar experience whether you played the original or not. If you have the opportunity, I'd like you to play the remake first and enjoy it as a fresh experience on its own. I would have just phrased this in a different kind of way. Wait. I'm getting mad right now. The thing is, he obviously has to say this because, yeah, well, it's basically his game. He is the director of it, and he, of course, wants to make money of it because with the old one, the cash flow isn't that good anymore. There is not much money to be made of, especially because many people already have it. But, but, I totally understand when when you haven't played the original one, that you are on the fence of playing it because it's an old kind of gameplay, but there are ways around it. With the remake, there is a mode in it where you can just go faster through the game. You are basically invincible, so you even if you don't like the gameplay, you can just power through the fights and just enjoy the story. It's that simple. There are ways to make it more enjoyable. And then go into the remake with the new combat system. But yeah, there are definitely nods in there. So if you played the original before, you can see how we've reworked things. Yeah, that's how it works. And that's a completely legitimate way of playing. Well, some might argue that you have to play the original so you can understand what has been reworked, so that you can understand what has changed. But if you've not played it before, I'd like kind of you to experience the remake first with the new graphics and presentation and have that be your first impression of the game. A bold and curious proclamation by any metric, Hamaguchi unfortunately did not provide any arguments to back it up. Why though? Thus leaving it currently unknown just why he believes the remake trilogy to be the superior first entry point for the series. Because he makes money of it. However, he did speak vaguely to his vision earlier in the interview, meeting a question from Reynolds regarding, as a fan yourself, do you have your own personal expectations that you'd like to meet? By explaining to his Nintendo Live host, my honest feeling is that yes, there is pressure, I can't deny that, but I don't really let it get on top of me. Yeah, okay, that might be true. I won't put any words in his mouth just because I think that his take here is stupid. It's just so satisfying and rewarding to have so many people out there waiting for your game. Having so many people play and enjoy games is really special. So I'm having a lot of fun with it at the same time. Totally understandable. One other thing is that the team we have working on this series is just really great. I'm blessed to have it. That I also believe there are a lot of fans in the team, probably. And it really supports me in making these games. It contains a lot of new people like myself who were fans of the original games, but then we also have a number of creators who worked on the original Final Fantasy VII, so people like Tetsuya Nomura, Yoshiniro Kitase, Motomo Toriyama, Katsushige Nojima, and so on. Having them there really helps to ground it in the original and keep that essence of what made Final Fantasy VII what it was. In some sense, it was just me and was if it was just me and I was responsible for everything, then it might wind up becoming my personal take on it as a fan, which almost happened, by the way, in the first remake. Almost happened. But together we're able to determine what is most important for the fans and create a modern piece of entertainment that still retains the core essence. For those interested in diving into the remake trilogy, Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate will finally join the Nintendo Switch. Okay, I don't care about that. You can play it right now on PC. But if you want to play it on the Switch too, January 22nd next year with Rebirth and the as of yet unannounced third game set to follow at later dates. Yeah. Further, a Nintendo Switch dual release containing Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII is due to come out on December 9th. Oh, great. But yeah, terrible take. Really, really terrible. And we have something else that was just posted basically a couple of hours ago as of recording this right now. It's about making sure the pacing feels right. Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 director clarifies he's not cutting content, but it has to feel right, so that's what I mainly intended to say. Let's go through the article first. I haven't read this one before, but again, I have thoughts about that. Final Fantasy VII Remake series director Naoki Hamaguchi has clarified that while he recently assured fans that Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 would strike a balance when it came to pacing and be more concise, that didn't mean he would change anything about Rebirth's pacing. As reported last week, the director reflected on criticism of the series' pacing and lengthy installments because it is just way too long and it's padded out and there are too many minigames forced on you. Not optional, they are forced on you. It's just like, do you remember? Do you remember? Do you remember this mini game from the original? Here. But then again, if you haven't played the original and you're playing it in the remake, it's just like, what am I doing here? What is this? Why am I pixel art designed characters right now? What is happening? There is no context to it and it doesn't make sense. And as much as I love the card game in the second one, why? It just takes up so much time. Asked if he agreed with the feedback that certain sections in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth felt a little long, he disagreed, saying, "A little is very charming, very, very charming. It's not a little." Regarding time management in certain sections, especially in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I honestly don't believe that they were longer than necessary. I feel like nowadays players just have too much to do and too much to play, so they often feel the urge that something has to be concluded quickly. No! Because only just one playthrough of the game. But okay, I'm also someone who tries to do as much as possible. I did every side quest, I played every mini game almost to completion, but it just got too much and I was at almost 100 hours. It is too long. It feels really weird to say that a game is too long. But when the content isn't the best, and again, it is forced upon you, then it is too long. Yes, there was something great about the pacing with, okay, it was a lot of main story content right now. Now I need a little snack, a little side content, basically. Then it came. And then it was like, okay, but now the main content could go on. Please, main content. And then you had to wait a little bit for it. And then it came back to the main content. But you only know this when you play the original again. Because the original was just way better with the pacing. Yes, it also had some issues here and there. I will not deny that. The original is not perfect. It also has some issues, but it is way better than in the remakes. And this is as someone I really like Remake and Rebirth and Integrate and what was the one with Zack? Re something Reinvention. I don't know. I forgot the name. Doesn't matter. Again, I enjoy them. I like them as sequels, not as a one-to-one exchange. This is not Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It's not an equivalent exchange. You have to enjoy the first one. Oh god. This is hurting my brain, Hamaguchi. Where was I? In a new interview with VGC, Hamaguchi expanded further on this, saying, "Just to explain the original question I was asked, there was. They said that there are some people who played Rebirth, the second game in the series, and they felt that because we've added new story content, which wasn't in the original Final Fantasy VII, that wasn't the issue. For some people, probably. I will not argue that. Of course, there are going to be people that don't like the new story content. It is the length of the story content. To them, it felt like the story was being stretched out. Yes, he explained. So they asked whether we were considering doing anything related to that in the third game. I feel that the pacing, the content, and the balance in Rebirth is exactly as I wanted it. Good for you, buddy. I personally don't feel it's been stretched out, and it doesn't feel unnecessarily long. To me, I think I got that right, and I think a lot of people would agree with me. Of course, there are people agreeing with you. I'm, again, not arguing that, but there are also a lot of people, and I would say it's about a 50-50 thing, maybe a 60-40 thing that say it's, it's too long. Because replaying it again is, I don't know, it's not in my cards right now. I'd rather replay Final Fantasy 16 because it's again, I enjoy Remake and Rebirth, but for me personally, Final Fantasy 16 is better than the remakes. And I replayed the original Final Fantasy VII so many times, and I did not replay Remake and Rebirth that many times. I mean, Remake I replayed 3 times, I think, because it was shorter. But Rebirth I played only once, even though the cutscenes are freaking amazing. Yeah, Hamaguchi explained that while he's looking at pacing and ensuring that the story developments move forward in a fairly speedy manner and with the right pace essentially, rather than feeling slow and drawn out, his comment may have been misconstrued. Is it though? I think that they may. I think that may have been misconstrued by people. They may have said, okay, that means they're going to cut down on the volume and they're going to remove story content. It's going to be a shorter game. They're going to cut it down. And that I'm. What? And that's not what I'm saying at all, he added. Yeah, but the original game is about 60 hour-ish long, even with the side content. You can stretch it out, of course. It's always, you can stretch it out as much as you want. But they're making 3 games out of 1. That is the issue. And again, you can enjoy the original one for 13 euros. If you want the other one, I mean, Rebirth here is a 70 euro title. Where is. There it was. Is Remake Integrate? For 40 euros. But then, oh no, 100 for both of them. No, my philosophy right now, if you don't know, it's always the highest price. So it's 120 euros for both games. It is almost 10 times as the amount of money. Almost. But yeah, I think that oh no, we already were there. It's about making sure the pacing feels right. It's not about cutting out content. It's making sure that it feels right. That felt weird, the sentence. The speed that the story progresses at feels right, and it's fairly quick, and it feels like you can get through it at a reasonable pace, but it has to feel right. What is the sentence? What is he saying? It feels right, it feels right, it feels right. It's like he wants to put it into your brain. It feels right, it feels right. Do you feel how it feels right? Oh my god! So that's why I mainly intend to say there. God damn it. RPG fans have been on the hunt for news about the next entry in the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy since its last installment, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, launched in early 2024. We know development started as early as June 2022, with Square Enix saying last year that its goal was to see it launched by 2027. Excitement for the third and final chapter in the trilogy grew even more when the team revealed that it had completed its story earlier this year. While we wait, you can read up why the Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 team will not cheat when it comes to Final Fantasy VII's iconic airship. Oh, I hope you do not. Don't screw this up. I want my high wind. As for it is Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3, we will have turn-based combat. Hamaguchi said it had not been predetermined yet. Despite the success of Clair Obscur Expedition 33, which boasts traditional JRPG-inspired turn-based combat and recently confirmed sales of 5 million copies in 5 months. Which is, of course, awesome for Clair Obscur Expedition 33. And we're also getting free DLC for Expedition 33 thanks to the 5 million copies sold. Just a small side note here. Which is not going to happen with Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yeah. Again, these are some interesting takes from Hamaguchi-san. And it just feels so weird to me. A couple of years ago, we talked about how games are too short. And I was always in the boat of I'd rather have a short and very good game instead of a long and drawn out game that feels like it's padded out. That's why I don't like the newer Ubisoft titles of the Assassin's Creed series, because they're just too long. I don't want to spend all my time just running around the map and doing chores, which also happened in Rebirth. It is just too much. What is going on? Yes, I want a certain amount of enjoyment of the money that I put into a game. But god damn, at one point it just turns into work. And at one point it turns into, oh god, please release me. I have to finish this game so I can just go into the next one. Because this is my mindset. I don't want to leave a game unfinished. I did it with some games and I'm going to do this more and more, and I don't want to do this with Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3. But these are just my thoughts. Please leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section down below. I'm keen to know what you have to say. And while you're here, please remember to do all the things that make the dings. Why? Because that way we can build a bigger community and talk more video game news every day. And by that I of course mean like and subscribe, and if you want you can share this video with your friends. Otherwise, have a great day, my friend. Stay fantastic, stay hydrated, and I will see you with the next video tomorrow. Maybe later in the stream, I don't know. I had an incredibly long day. Yeah, let's just see. Let me just say no, and if I do it, it's a pleasant surprise for everyone. Bye, bye, bye.